Silver is hitting new recent highs and is pushing towards its $50 all-time high. And a lot of new stackers are asking, is it too late to even start? Did I miss out? What should I buy first? If you're in that camp and you're thinking about starting to stack silver, or even gold for that matter, then this video is going to be for you. So let's break everything down in today's video on what to do to get started with these recent highs. Want to win 100 ounces of American Silver Eagles completely free? Well, in case you missed out on the first opportunity, JM Bullion is now giving you a second chance to win 5 full tubes of 100 coins packed in a custom waterproof Pelican case. There is no purchase necessary, and the newest and latest giveaway is going to end on December 11th of this year. And if you want to get in on this last opportunity, click the link in the description below for a chance to win. And again, just to be clear, JM Bullion is not sponsoring this channel in any sort of way. This is just me wanting to pass this opportunity along to help you guys out. So don't miss out on this. Click on the link in the description to enter for your chance to win 100 ounces of free silver. Hi everybody, and welcome back to yet another video. So the challenge of getting started is one thing, but starting your stacking journey when silver is nearing its all-time high, currently sitting at around $42 today at the time of this video, there are many people out there who think that you may have missed out and that you should have gotten in a while ago and it's all too late and you missed out on the chances to get in. Now, that might be true from a price perspective if gains in the value of your portfolio is the goal. However, the real thing that you should be thinking about is not necessarily the financial gains that you could have made, but the weight and quantity that you're aiming to acquire. That's the real goal that you should have when it comes to stacking. Because even if you think that you're late to the party, remember I said silver is getting close to its all-time high, which means that it's been at a higher level than it has been today. So this isn't by technicality a new or some sort of uncharted territory. We have been here before a few times, and you can go back as far as 45 years ago, back in 1980 when silver first hit close to $50 an ounce. So if you think that you're late in 2025, just remember that almost half a century ago, people probably had the same thought process about being too late back then. So I want you to erase any fear or any idea that it's too late to start due to pricing issues, because I can promise you there's no shortage right now of silver at your local coin shop. They are probably getting more sellers than buyers, and so the supply on their end is really heavy right now. Despite all the prices, I personally believe that it's really much a buyer's market if you're looking to probably get some decent deals. So now I want to move on to what to do next, because once you decided to actually make the decision to go ahead and start, because remember I said that getting started is one challenge, but what do you do, or what do you get started with when prices are high? So I want to start by saying, regardless of the price level, the rule that you should always follow is getting the most weight in silver for your dollars. You should try to maximize as much silver as you possibly can get by spending the least amount of money possible. And you do that by managing the premium costs. Regardless if silver is $50 an ounce, $100 an ounce, or even $10 an ounce. This practice is always going to be the same at any level, and there are certain pieces of silver that you can get by doing that. And typically, the rule is the heavier in weight that you go, the lower the premium. And conversely, the lower in weight you go means you're going to pay more in premium. And just for an example, the silver bar that you saw in the middle, you're probably going to, in general, carry a cheaper premium than these 1 ounce buffalo rounds. However, you'll obviously pay more for the 10 ounce bar than the 1 ounce. So how does that example actually play out here? So if you were to buy a 10 ounce bar for, let's say, $1 over spot, and these buffalo rounds for $3 over spot, if you're trying to get 10 ounces in total with a spot price of $50, just to use easy numbers here, you'll pay $510 for one 10 ounce bar and $530 for these buffalo rounds. Both of them are 10 ounces in total, but you're going to pay an extra 20 bucks just for the lighter rounds in weight. Now, that extra $20 isn't going to get you any extra ounces of silver at a spot price level of 50, but you get the point for this example. Because if the premium spreads are too high, then you could be missing out on other opportunities by not accounting for the premiums. Because remember what I said earlier, it's the weight that you're trying to accumulate. So let's talk real quick about the government minted coins. There are countries out there that actually mint their own form of silver. Here in the US, we have the American Silver Eagle. In Canada, they've got the Maple Leaf. In the UK, they have the Britannias. So there are more well-known and more recognized form of silver, but they generally carry a higher premium than the generic rounds or bars. Just as an example, the American Silver Eagles that I just pulled out are going to have a much higher premium than the Buffalo Rounds or even the bar. Now, I'm not going to dive too much into every single type of coin because that might be a video for itself later on down the road, but it's just something to keep in mind because there's always going to be deals going around, and if you can remember that the higher weights will generally carry less premiums and the generic rounds are going to be cheaper than the government rounds. If you can just remember those things, you're going to it's pretty much on you just to find out who has the best price, the best deals, etc. But for right now, just to give you guys an easy answer as to what is the best thing to start with, right now, for example, the 90% silver, constitutional, or even maybe known as junk silver, whatever you want to call them, they are being sold right now at spot or even below spot right now. Meaning you can pick up pre-1965 quarters, dimes, half dollars, things in the US mainly, right? Those things are going to be made up of 90% pure silver for the price that you see, essentially. So if not even lower. So if let's say spot price is at 42 right now, you can get junk silver for $42 or even lower than that. So right now, junk silver, constitutional, 90%, whatever, there's different ways to say it. That's going to be your best entry metal to go into right now. And if you're thinking about starting that today, just go to your local coin shop and ask about it. Ask them what 90% silver is. They'll be the ones to hopefully help educate you a little bit more with that, because right now that is going to be the best bang for your buck today, even with the prices where they're at. So if I were starting out, that's what I would go with, despite having a little bit of hindsight on this information and experience in making mistakes related to premiums and stacking in general. But if I were to start buying silver, I would take advantage of the low premium 90% or constitutional silver. Don't worry too much about the prices, because the best time to get started is when you're able to, when you actually have the money for it. So just be cautious about going all in right off the start and buying into the FOMO impulses. And because as far as we can tell, silver is not going anywhere right now. It's not going to disappear. And there's always going to be something available. It really just depends on prices for what you can afford is pretty much going to be the only hurdle that you're going to face. Because with that being said, don't be afraid to explore other types of silver as well. You'll want to stack other types that are essentially going to have to force you to pay out a higher premium for it. And it just depends on what your strategy is. And I think for beginners, going into cheap generic bars or rounds is going to be a great rule of thumb. But right now, 90% silver is where it's at for any stacker, really, not just new stackers. Just dollar cost average your way in and out of the prices. It'll smooth out the highs and the lows, so you can just focus on the weights or ounces that you desire. Because remember, everyone has a strategy to this. You'll just need to get started and develop your own as you go. Because every stacker had to start somewhere, no matter what the price was. Now it's just your turn to do that. So let me ask our experienced stackers for their opinion. Comment down below what you would buy or what you would do if you were starting out today. Go ahead and throw in a little bit of advice or some wisdom for anyone who is thinking about getting started. Let the comment section be a source of information for our new stackers out there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye, guys.